y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name's Danielle and I'm the owner of Damn Fancy Creations and the Drunk Flamingo. If you guys are a member of my Drunk Flamingo group on Facebook, you may have already seen this tumbler. I did this tumbler as a live in our group about a month ago, and I know it's a little bit late for the 4th of July to put out for a tutorial, but I love it so much and it is so versatile. You can switch up the colors for any holiday or season or any theme that you're going for. So even though this is 4th of July themed or patriotic themed, you can definitely switch it up to make it work for you. If y'all are seasoned tumbler makers, chances are you have seen or used this technique before. It was popular a couple years ago, and just like everything else in the crafting world, it is coming back around. I did another tumbler tutorial using this technique back when we were still using nail foils on tumblers, so I will link that now if you guys want to check that out as well. Before we get started, make sure that you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any upcoming tutorials. All right, guys, let's jump into it. Alright y'all, so here is what we're going to be using today. This is my tumbler. I went ahead and just kind of spray painted it red and a couple different shades of blue. We have like a light blue and a navy blue, and I just kind of sprayed the colors sporadically on the cup. And I'm also just showing people my pin wraps and this little balloon dog charm that I got from CamiPaige Boutique. I was going to do a pin as well, but life is crazy and I did not get to finish my pin. So I may spray paint him a different color and create a different pin with him. So the first step that we're going to do is place our foils, and we're going to use the adhesive from Artistic Painting Studio. And we're just getting a little bit of this adhesive. And if you guys are not familiar with foils, basically you're going to put down an adhesive, which is what this is. We're going to let it dry, and then we're going to apply the foils, and the foil will stick to the adhesive, and then you can peel off the clear transfer sheet. And Artistic Painting Studio, sorry, Birdie is so loud. Artistic Painting Studio Southern Belle Glitter also have an adhesive. You can also use Tack It. I have used Tack It for a while as well. I think it works just as fine, so I just kind of go with whatever adhesive I have on hand at the moment. And when you first put the adhesive on, it's going to be white, as you can see here. And as it dries, it will dry translucent, almost clear. And you want to be careful that your coats are not too thick. If they get too thick, they will not dry as well, and the adhesive will still stay kind of gummy, and the foils will not stick well to them. So I'm just going to go ahead and show you guys that I put little adhesive on this guy. And we did glitter him, so I'll go ahead and show you guys how I glittered this little charm. So I am just using the foil adhesive as well because it acts just like Tack It, and we can burnish our glitter into the adhesive. So we get a very smooth coat of glitter, and it will be kind of like flat. And when it comes to the adhesive, you do want to do thinner coats. If you would like to do 2 coats, you can definitely do that. That's why thinner is better. Then the thinner the coat, the quicker it will dry, and the quicker you can apply your second coat if you feel like you need a second coat. And even for thin coats, I suggest waiting for this to dry at least 30 minutes to an hour. Or you can always use a heat gun on a low setting or a hair dryer to speed up the drying process. You don't want to use your heat gun on a super hot heat because that will just kind of heat up the adhesive and it won't really dry it. It'll just kind of like, I don't know, make it really tacky. So just do it on a low setting. So for the little charms like this, I just make sure that I'm getting it in all of the little cracks and crevices. And I wrapped tape around a little metal rod to try to hold him on there, but he kept trying to fall off on me. All right, so this has been sitting pretty much just as long as I put the adhesive on the little balloon dog, and you guys can already see how dry it is. So there are some parts that were a little bit thicker, so I just went ahead and took my heat gun and we're just drying those parts that still appear white. If it's clear, we know we're good to go. So I'm going to use this red foil. It has like little mini stars on it. I think that I got this from Artistic Painting Studio, and I thought it went well with my cup. So when your adhesive is ready, we're just going to smooth down the foils. You want to make sure that the print side is up and facing you. That is the side that is covered with the clear transfer tape. Or not transfer tape, transfer paper. And I should have said, when I apply my adhesive, I really kind of just apply it in a distressed fashion, so we get a distressed feel for the cup. That's just my preference, how I like foils. Obviously, if you want more of like a straight line, you can apply your adhesive a little bit differently. So we're just going to do this all around the cup. And I just use my little vinyl squeegee to smooth down the adhesive. And y'all, so I put a lot of ice in my dog's outdoor water. And Birdie is literally bobbing for apples, but it's like bobbing for ice. She's just reaching in and getting out the ice, and she just crunches it and leaves it. So if you can hear her in the background, that's what she's doing. She's going to take every piece of ice out there as her whole snout gets soaked. Anyway, so after we have all of our foil on there, we're going to jump into applying our glitter. All the glitter color I'm using was formerly my glitter. You can now get them on CamiPaige Boutique. And I just picked some colors that we're going to go with the tumbler. I think we have Mimosa, Arctic Mule Cocktail, and Ocean Breeze. I think we also did Raspberry Ginger Beer. I think we used all of these. And then I used Pina Colada for the leopard spots because I wanted a white and not a color shift white. Pina Colada is a pearl white with no additional colors. So I put my adhesive in these little bottles. These are the needle nose bottles, but I hate the needle part, so I just take the needle part out. For me, the needle would always get clogged, even if I put a pin in it, even if I tried to clean it out, and I just would always get so frustrated and have to spend forever trying to clean that needle before I could even use the bottle. So I just put everything in a bottle and just took the needle out. You still have that good precision point, and it works for what I need it to. And I was frustrated with this glue. So I never use Mod Podge, y'all. Like, y'all know I never use it. But the glitter glue, since it kind of smooths out, it wasn't staying as stiff as I would like it to before I could put the glitter on. So I tried to get Mod Podge, but my Mod Podge was dried up because I literally never use it. So We're just going to make the glitter glue work. I'm just working in smaller sections. And when I apply my little glitter lines, you don't have to apply them like in individual little lines, but I do like to try to keep the lines straight with the tumbler, if that makes sense. So it's like going parallel. And I'm really just kind of applying them. These particular lines are being applied around the red foil because that's where I wanted my red glitter. But there really is no right or wrong way to apply your little drawn adhesive lines. So I'm just going around the tumbler with the red glitter, and then we're going to move on to the other colors. I cannot speak today, y'all. And if I'm doing multiple different colors on a tumbler, I will always start with my darkest one first. So that way, if there is any glitter contamination, the lighter colors are less likely to show up on the darker colors. And I am just gently brushing off the excess red glitter. I'm just doing that off screen, brushing it onto my floor, which I will vacuum later, just so I have a good clean surface to apply the lines. And I'm just adding a little bit of this blue in between the red just to break up that big red section. Oh, and I will also say that I did tape off the bottom with a little bit of electrical tape. So that way I don't have to worry about getting glitter or paint on the bottom rims. I am somebody who tapes off the rims. I used to not tape off my rims, but I would always get so frustrated if I glittered the bottom and then the cup was perfect except for the bottom was slightly uneven, and then I would have to sand and re-epoxy again and risk something else not being perfect. So I just got to where I just tape off my ends. If I'm using a Tipsy Magnolia tumbler, I will do like a glitter butt, but I still will not epoxy around the rims of the tumbler. So again, I am just carefully brushing off all of the excess glitter. You don't want to brush it off too hard because then you are going to smear those glitter lines we just did. So I just use a fluffy makeup brush so that you're just barely touching the surface of the tumbler. So now we're going in with Mimosa just to add a little gold, add a little different color. And you guys can see the more colors that I add, the more careful I am being with where I place the lines. And I'm kind of being a little bit more intentional with where I put them. The first two colors, they just kind of went wherever. But now that I'm kind of blending the colors in with each other, or not blending, but mixing the colors in with each other, I want to make sure that I'm not overlapping another color. And now we're brushing off the tumbler again, getting all that excess glitter off of there. So here's what it looks like so far. I was really happy with how this one was coming out. And I think that I asked them if I should add white. So I did add some of the Ocean Breeze Vodka Cocktail. This is my favorite white. And it is translucent, so it will kind of pick up the colors that are underneath it. So even though it's white, it's really going to kind of shift a little bit. And I'm really just kind of filling in some of the larger blank spaces with the white. So now our little balloon dog is dry, so I'm just going to show you guys how I glittered him really quick. So I just poured this glitter on top of him. We're just covering him completely. And then I am just burnishing that glitter in with my fingers. We're just rubbing that glitter in. And for the little crevices that I can't get to with my fingers, we're just using a little paintbrush. And this is just a soft paintbrush just to kind of force that glitter into the adhesive and then get off any of the extra glitter. This will make it easier to apply resin to so that we don't have a lot of glitter grains kind of sticking out. So I'm just really kind of wiping them down. So if you guys have this tumbler charm, the next step for this would just be to attach him to your pin with, I would probably just use super glue. And then you can go ahead and add a layer of UV resin to everything. So now that our tumbler has had a few minutes to sit, we are going to apply our white leopard print spots. And I also used a bright white, an opaque matte white, so that it stood out from the other colors that were on the cup. If we used a really sparkly white or a translucent white, then it would not be as bright and the other colors would show through. And I definitely wanted it to kind of stick out a little bit or stand out a little bit. And I'm going to mix my glitter glue with a little bit of white paint just to give it a white color. So even though this is a opaque glitter, if there are any little spaces that may not be fully covered with the glitter, it's still going to be white, and we're not going to see any of that red or blue. So we're using pina colada, and now we're just going to apply our paint glitter glue mixture. And I'm just going to let you guys watch how I do my leopard print. I kind of like dot it instead of a swiping motion. That way I get a little bit more of a natural edge. So it kind of looks like fuzzy. And yes, we can see that there's white glitter on the tumbler, but remember, everything is dry. So once the white leopard print dries, we can just go in and wipe everything off, and all of that excess glitter should brush off easily if everything on your tumbler is already dry. And I'm just picking a couple places on the tumbler to apply some leopard print. And after you get done with your leopard print, that is basically it for this tumbler. So even though there's a lot going on, it is fairly simple to complete. We have foil, we have glitter, we have leopard print, all of these fun things, and you can do all of it in one sitting. So after this leopard print is dry, I will take this downstairs, brush everything off really good. I like to use chip brushes to brush everything off. And then I will spray seal it with Rust-Oleum 2 times, twice, to make sure that that glitter is good and sealed in. And then I will put 2 to 3 layers of epoxy. I usually do 2 layers and then sand it really well, and then do a third and final layer. And after your final layer of epoxy has cured, then your tumbler will be complete. But I love how this turned out so much. Everybody on the live loved it as well. I wish I would have gotten this tutorial up a little sooner, but life happens and I didn't get to it. I did recently have a retail booth open. So it's a permanent retail booth at a store by me. So that has taken up a lot of my time this month, just trying to get inventory and get everything opened. But yeah, I love how this turned out. And like I said in the beginning, you can always change your colors to match the holiday or the theme. I really want to do a fall themed one. I think that I may do that next with like some oranges and browns and things like that. But here are some finished pictures of how the tumbler turned out once it has that shiny coat of epoxy. If you guys decide to give this a try after watching this tutorial, please post it in the Drunk Flamingo. I love seeing what you guys come up with and what sorts of things inspire you and how you can take tutorials and put your own spin on them. If you enjoyed this tutorial or learned something new, please be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Don't forget to catch the next video coming up that was picked just for you. As always, if you're looking for more tips, tricks, or tutorials, be sure to check out my Damn Fancy Creations or my Drunk Flamingo group. Both are linked in the description. Thanks for watching.